years, through periods of both increasing and decreasing intensity, conversations have been occurring about the possibilities and changes afforded by the changing nature of work, of school, of our attention spans, and the technologies which have been created to accommodate this change. At conferences, at companies, at universities, public and private, at government offices, and even at the White House, we have been examining the central questions of the emergence of a new credentialing economy, what it means for students, what it means for workers, and what it means for those who teach and hire them. Tonight, we will hear about how these credentials, which are bottom-up and driven by the learner, are transforming the face of traditional, top-down, university-driven degrees. Tomorrow, we will hear from folks on the ground who are putting into practice the designs for technology-supported education that will become the new paradigms for how we think about school and work. So looking around, I see some familiar faces from the exhilarating and exhausting summer of 2012, famously or infamously described as the year of the MOOC. And these professors, teaching staff, senior administrators, startup founders, and employees work together to create not only brand new ways of distributing education, but also sow the seeds for the new economies of credentials we are exploring today. In the ensuing 4 years since that summer, we've shifted from an exciting and noble notion of delivering education at scale to the world to discovering which learners around the world want and can use the form of education that we're providing. So some quick numbers, because good teachers always meet their students where they are. Where our learners are at Wharton is at work and in the world. Across Wharton's 20 specialization courses, 58% of our learners are employed and 72% live outside the US. And that's a survey of 70,000 folks who completed a specialization. It's clear that what began as a grand experiment in providing access to education for everyone has become a powerful tool to enable professional education and lifelong learning for a population which has, for the most part, never had access to it before, and certainly not had access to it on their telephone. So tonight and tomorrow, you will experience the diversity of different strategies and experiments in providing professional education and lifelong learning from a wide range of practitioners in industry and academia. While our motives and methods differ, we are all responding to the change which is coming to business education, a change which impacts every person in this room. Thank you so much for traveling to Philadelphia and for participating in the fruitful discussions that will help determine the future of business education. It's been an honor to work with you and to create the future with you, and I truly cannot wait to hear what you have to say, not just during the summit, but also in the conversations to follow. So thank you again, and please let me introduce Don Huesman, the Managing Director of Wharton Online, who will introduce tonight's panel.
Thanks, Ann. I'm going to be very brief. I just want to introduce our panelists. Starting with the far end, we have Rick Lovin, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Coursera, and from 1993, I believe, to 2013, was the 22nd President of Yale University. Sitting next to Rick, is Jeffrey Brown, who's the Joseph and Margaret Konishok Professor of Business and Dean of the College of Business at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, the home of the IMBA. I think most people know that. Next, we have Anand Agarwal, who is a professor of engineering and computer science at MIT, and of course the chief executive officer and chief cheerleader for edX. And finally, we have the moderator. She is cheerleader. Jeff Garrett is the Reliance Professor of Management and Private Enterprise and the Dean of the Wharton School.
Of course, the only thanks that hasn't been issued in the room so far is the biggest one of all, which is all of our thanks, and certainly mine personally, to Anne, who has, for whom this has been just an extraordinary. gather that there was some pretty good drinking to be done. So I'm so sorry I missed that. I've been talking diplomacy across the street actually for an hour and a half. Missed the wine there too. Things aren't going so well. We don't want. It's always tough to be between you now and dinner. And from the buzz I could feel next door, obviously there's so much talent and passion in the audience that we don't want to sit here on this dais for too long. But as you know, the people to my left this is a pretty extraordinary panel that we put together, and I want to thank each of these gentlemen for their willingness to be here. Since you're a very informed group, and since there is food to be eaten, I thought we should do two things up here. Keep our part really punchy and move to you for Q&A pretty quickly, and then you can move into dinner. So no big opening set pieces, but I think it is appropriate really to try to do one thing very quickly and then move forward. The one thing to do very quickly is, where have your organizations come in the last 2 or 3 years? What are the things you're proud to solve in the online world? I don't know where we should go first, but since I wanted to work for Rick Levin, I'm going to let him go first. And by the way, Rick must have been about 5 when he became president. Based on how well he is looking today. Rick, you've been, of course, here not from the beginning, but you clearly embraced it. What are you proudest of in what Coursera has done thus far?
Well, I mean, number one, we're happy to try over 21 million registered learners and hundreds of, well over 1 million active learners every month, 500,000 new learners joining the platform every month, and 145 university partners. For the best move forward, it's actually great to be in a position where no university really wants to embarrass itself and only gives us good teachers. So that part has been really exciting. Another big learning was when I came. It was still, basically free, and still is available. You can watch our courses for free, or most of our courses. But what we learned is that the credentials seem to matter. We seem to be kept on as a new way of certifying competency in the labor market. When people talk about MOOCs as something that is going to disrupt higher education, I never bought it. Maybe that will happen eventually in some way, and you're going to talk about the ways that this happened in business school. But I see it primarily as a market extender, an audience extender, that we are reaching, essentially, 78% of our learners are over college age, older than college age. And many of them would have never had an opportunity to take a class from the University of Pennsylvania or MIT or the University of Illinois. Just lived outside their wildest dreams. So that fact that it will reach people that couldn't otherwise do it, that we're extending the mission of our university graduate school to reaching wider audiences, and that the credentials are starting to value in the labor market. Those are the big things.
Okay. Jeff, you're in the middle. What's your next?
Sure. So, Jeff Brown, University of Illinois, and obviously we launched the online MBA in partnership with Coursera in January of this year. If you go back a couple of years, we really had a single objective, which is we wanted to change the face of business education. We're a public institution, a land-grant institution. We take very seriously the mission of providing an affordable and accessible business education to people. And we saw this as an opportunity to really do something completely different and be able to offer a very high quality online product at frankly, a bargain price. You can now get an MBA for $20,000, which is a small fraction of what it typically costs to get an MBA in a full-time or executive program. We've been able to, as Rick said, we've been able to get our best faculty teaching the program. We've invested heavily in production quality and so forth, and we're really proud of what we've produced. The thing that I don't think I fully realized, but has been probably the biggest unexpected benefit, is that this really required us to challenge deeply held assumptions about how universities operate. And the university, our university is celebrating its 150th anniversary next year. And we've been doing things that way for a very long time, right? I mean, in fact, if you think about it, what happens in the typical classroom up until recently wasn't all that different from what happened in classrooms 1,000 years ago. And now technology has come along that has changed that. And what we have found is it's not only causing us to sort of get out of our comfort zone in the online space, it's actually changing how we think about the way we interact and deliver content, even in our face-to-face classroom. And so that's actually been a really fun and unexpected transformation to watch.
Excellent. So I know you get to go last. I do love your apple juice. I have to taste it. It smelled a little like it was fermenting or something. It must be because the apples were getting old at the wooden school. I apologize for that. But you're the real founder in the room, right? And you did the first MIT MOOC, so you've got more to be proud of. If you look back, what is it in the edX world that you're proudest of?
So maybe it's my apple juice talking, but maybe facetiously, maybe I'm proud that I guess I'm the last computer scientist who is standing here. But this was talked about the number of computer scientists on the west and the east coast, and look at me, I'm sitting among a sort of economists. And 4 little computer scientists coming from a 4 little nonprofit, 3-letter nonprofit edX, professor of a small 4 little private nonprofit university, MIT. I had my comfort blanket along with me, trying to distinguish two economists. But more seriously, I think I'm proud of maybe a slightly different tack here, which is that we do have 9 million learners on edX from 196 countries. We've done pretty well with that. What I'm really proud of is the way in which we have been able to integrate online learning into the fabric of university. When we started edX, and the first MOOCs were started, everybody thought, oh yeah, offer some cheap stuff, videos of multiple choice to make it available to everybody. This will never come home, never touch home, never touch the university. And so that's how it was in the beginning. But over the past 2 years, we've launched a number of programs that directly translate to credit. Global Freshman Academy last year with Arizona State University. And then I'll leave it out. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we will launch 19 MicroMasters. We're announcing 19 MicroMasters, new credential, which is 1/4 to half of a master's degree. And you can do it completely online on edX. Universities include MIT, Columbia, Michigan, they're doing 3. IIM Bangalore, in topics ranging from artificial intelligence to product management to computer science, additional topics, where there's a pathway to credit. You can get the MicroMasters, and then if you apply to the university and get in, it will translate to 1/4 to 1/2 of the credit for a master's degree on campus for free. And you can accelerate your campus masters. So more and more of edX courses, where you can complete the courses 100% online on edX, will translate to credit on campus. And to do that, we've really had to up our game on the platform on edX in terms of quality of the platform and quality of the assessments. Very, very rich assessment and integrity. How do you assure integrity? The number of features we've implemented in the past year and a half to ensure integrity, to make sure students don't cheat, timed exams, randomized problem banks, virtual proctoring, exams that disappear after the exam is given. The list goes on and on and on. And this is MOOC 2.0. So I'm proudest that by having done these features, we've convinced professors and universities, 14 of them, to launch 19 MicroMasters and another 20 or 30 coming up in a few months thereafter, where there's a pathway to credit on campus at universities like MIT and potentially Harvard and Columbia and Michigan and others all over the world.
Okay, so thanks for that. I'm making mental notes of the big forward-looking topics that you put on the table, and I see at least the MicroMasters pathway, which obviously potentially disintermediates a lot of face-to-face education along the way. I see the on-campus and online degrees in the same institution. And for Rick, I had the good fortune to spend some time with Rick this afternoon, and I'm going to call it, for this audience, the B2B move, the continuous professional development B2B move in online as big important topics. I just want to flag them each. So maybe we'll stay on this MicroMasters for a second. You know, if I was to think about MicroMasters at the Wooden School, I think my biggest concern would be the old one, the brand concern. What am I doing to the brand if I move online? You clearly convinced some some institutions that have to be concerned about brand, but this is just okay. So was that a big part of the conversation? Are they worried about disintermediating face-to-face instruction, maybe at their institution and other institutions? How easy was the sell in the expanding MicroMasters? I mean, I know you had some true believers at MIT who were ready to start, but now you expanded the portfolio. Where was the resistance? Where was the? I think excitement's easy. Where was the resistance?
So we can break this up into two parts. The first part is how do you convince them that it's okay in terms of brand, and the second part is disintermediation. In terms of brand, it's very simple. If you can convince them that quality and integrity, and in universities they care about quality. That if I put my name on it and offer a MicroMasters product, which is 1/4 to 1/2 of a master's degree, it has to be high quality. That is the assessments, the assessment types have to be rich enough to be comparable to what you do on campus. The whole platform experience has to be very high quality and be top tier. So we invested hugely on quality. Second, integrity. How do you make sure that the credential that you give is high integrity? Virtual proctoring, look at randomized problem banks, and grading integrated with peer assessment. A lot of features that are brought in to ensure universities that is high integrity. I think those two combined give our university partners confidence that the brand will not be sullied because a high quality, high integrity product, competitive and comparable to what they offer in the universities. In terms of disintermediation, I think the issue there was one of simply, they're all a little innovative. And the MicroMasters, it's an innovative product and offers a pathway to university. Universities are already spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a lead for lead gen into the master's programs. And here the MicroMasters can be seen as a lead gen from corporates, to corporate partnerships and B2B partnerships, or to B2C people coming in, and a pathway to universities for the master's program. So this was, I think the way you got over in the objections was that this is the future. That is, you offer a phenomenal product online, and then it becomes an inverted admissions funnel, where you take the top people and they apply to campus, and they complete their master's on campus, should they want to do that. And so that partnership, that blend was the key to this.
Okay, so again, some really interesting things you put on the table. But let me move down the dais rapid fire. So Jeff, I presume your challenges as the dean are somewhat different. You're talking about an online product which in essence could compete with your own face-to-face products. And you've got professors who are used to teaching, their teaching model is X hours per week, now it's all bundled up front. What's the challenge on the production side with the faculty when you move to an online MBA?
It's difficult. I won't sugarcoat that. A lot of what I'm really proud of is the fact that we got all of our top, best faculty to participate in the program, and it took incentives to do that. There's financial incentives to do that. It took them understanding the vision and value and why this is important and why they wanted to be at the front end. It was also the case that our most senior faculty and our most respected faculty are the ones that care the most about quality.
But are you, quote unquote, in-loading your online instruction? If so, how are you doing that? Or is it a sort of above load comp model?
Interesting question, given the timing. We're in a conversation now about how to treat it going forward. Up until today, it's been an offload teaching where we basically provide extra compensation. We provide extra compensation for preparing the course, and then extra compensation each time that course is delivered. Because one of the things that I think we probably underestimated was the amount of time and effort that is involved when the course is live for credit. So you can, the model is such, it's a stackable model. You can go out, you could go home tonight, and I would encourage you to do so. Log on to the Coursera website and check out some of our lectures. If you actually want to take the class for credit, there's a particular time at which you need to do it, meaning an 8-week period in which, assignments are due, you're part of work groups and things like that. And so the workload on faculty is not trivial, and we're having some conversations about sort of going forward, how to construct a mix of on-load and off-load in order to deal with that. And the fact of the matter is, faculty have different preferences of it. And so we probably won't settle on a single model, but it'll just be part of the negotiation process with faculty and as we recruit people.
Okay, so Rick, you mentioned way back at the beginning specializations and non-degree credentials. I don't know whether you copyrighted the term specialization when you launched them, whatever it was in early 2014, but this kind of bottom-up credentialing, you don't have to go through the middle states, which is our particular credentialing body here, or LASC, or whatever it is in California. Have you been surprised by this bottom-up, the sort of market acceptance of, you just put a bunch of class together and give them a capital letter, and lo and behold, they become a credential that has value in the market? Did you foresee that? Have you been surprised by it? Where do you think it's going in non-degree credentialing?
I pretty soon, we just started specializations, just literally the day I walked in the door at Coursera. I had just launched the Johns Hopkins data science specialization, which remains our single best performing.
It even does better than those wooden specializations.
You're doing very, very well. It's a great partnership. But it was a pretty perfect sweet spot, which I'm sure I'm not also realized with edX. Data science, which is, some of us who trained in the earlier generation we call statistics, but introduces all these new techniques about like big data. There's tremendous excess demand for skilled data scientists throughout all through the industry. We're seeing every kind of application. It's growing like crazy. And so getting that, this was a 9-course certificate. It's actually our biggest and largest content certificate. Actually pretty close to the size of the micro master's in terms of content. That was just a huge winner from the beginning, and so it didn't take long to be convinced this is going to work. And what did, the spontaneity of the internet world, compared to our academic world, I gotta say, people just started posting these course credentials on LinkedIn, to the point that today Coursera certificates are the second most frequently cited credential on LinkedIn, second only Microsoft certificates, and they've been in the business for 35 years. So it won't be long before Coursera and edX and Udacity are atop that list, and none of the traditional providers. So it's interesting, it's important, and I'm starting to say this is the disruption in the labor market. That people are going to change jobs frequently in the modern world. The average young millennial is going to have 13 to 15 jobs during a lifetime at work. They're going to want new skills, and that's why these mini credentials from the specialization, which is effectively four-week courses with a capstone project, to the micro masters, which is a bigger chunk, to the stackable degree, which is what Jeff and the University of Illinois are offering. It all fits together. We're offering sort of credentials of every size and shape, and at least the Coursera approach is these things are completely stackable. So a course is stacked in the specialization. Their degree consists of 6 specializations, each of which has a low-touch layer, which is the open content that anyone can take, and then you get admitted to effectively the high-touch layer for the same set of subjects. And it's great. The other nice thing about stackability, like the micromasters, like the specializations in Coursera, is that you don't have to make your big bet on getting a 2-year degree. If you
if you walk away after a few months, you at least get something to take with you, which is a special safety kit.
Okay, so mindful of my promise to engage all of you quickly, I'm going to go 2 more topics with the 3 of you. One is B2B versus B2C. Everyone started B2C and now everyone's thinking B2B. I want to ask you about that. But the second one is touch. You were just talking about, Rick. So, the pure MOOC I still think of as the Netflix model. You've got a library of stuff. You can watch it on your phone, in your pajamas, in bed after you've had a long day, and that's a great thing. But then we'd like to think that there's some value to a learning community and to facilitation of some sort or another. What's going to be more important in online? The Netflix version with all the convenience that comes from that, or stuff that really is now creating learning communities and facilitation? Of course, I know the answer is going to be both. But I have to ask so who wants to give me a stab at one?
I'll start with one thing. We're not Netflix. Neither edX nor Coursera is Netflix. These are highly interactive.
Yes.
We're not just, you're not a passive.
So I can do that more than stop my Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, you interact every 5 or 6 minutes with a quiz. You have a social experience through the discussion forums, through peer grading, where everybody's actively grading subject work. So it's low touch.
Low touch, high touch. B2C.
But it's
Let's
B2C.
leave B2B for 1 second. Low touch, high touch. Which is the way?
So we're somewhere in between, which is we do everything that Rick just talked about. But in addition, we've got our faculty for the students that are taking the class for credit. They're on there with them once a week during the class, interacting live. We've built a bunch of studios. They can sit there and look at 120 students all at once and interact with them live online with cameras. The other thing that we do, and this just kind of developed organically, is our students are all over the world. Well, our faculty travel all over the world, and oftentimes if they decide, well, I'm going to be in Philadelphia this weekend, I'll have a 1-hour meetup at a local coffee shop, and they'll let the students who are in the program know, and they show up.
But of course, that happens in the purest MOOC context anyway. We hear these great stories about, cafe in some Indian city I haven't heard about. People are getting together to talk about the experience they just had. So they don't need you to do that. Can I ask you the tougher question? You just added all that value to your $20,000 degree with the once a week. What about the degree without that? How much is that worth? So you've got all the same content, but you don't have that weekly meetup with the faculty. Have you thought about price point for that?
So we, right now, you could literally go home tonight and watch the free version of all the content tonight. You could, well, you wouldn't get through it all tonight. You could access it.
Yeah, very smart. That's how we dinner they can do.
And that's, and there you could go through and you could learn a lot of material that way. But we do hold some material back for what we call a high engagement version. And a lot of the group activities, there are group projects, they're working together virtually and online with one another to do group assignments and those sorts of things. We believe that that's an integral part of business education. And it's just we're now doing it online rather than, a study group sitting in a building. But actually that's not that different from how people collaborate in the business world today, right? I mean, people are on work teams that are not necessarily live face-to-face.
Right, but they can do that. All your learners can do that without Illinois faculty if they wanted to, if they're motivated to do it. And I think a question, for all of us who are on the production side is, what's that worth? That kind of thing. Maybe you don't want to answer
Well,
that.
watch this space, you'll see something.
Okay.
A lot of you are from business schools, and you've all seen a two-sided network model. And where the B2B and the B2C go very nicely hand in hand. The B2C creates huge demand by having a much more inexpensive product and having large numbers, like the B2C model. It creates an opportunity for a much more richer experience in the B2B model. So we experimented with a number of B2B models for our MicroMasters. The basic MicroMasters you can learn for free. We don't hold any content back. It's still MOOCs. All the content is available for free. There's no paywall of any of the content. Assessments, exams, the whole thing is free. For about $1,500, you can pay and get the MicroMasters credentials for $1,500. And then with the B2B model, the way
So
that
all you're doing, to be clear there, all you're doing is creating a pathway towards having that stuff count as free content, right? So it's literally the pathway, it's nothing about the education that changes.
the education is the same. So whether you pay $1,500 for a MicroMasters or you take the education, it's identical.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the free stuff, and I'm gonna go to Michigan and say, hey, I did all that MIT, I did all of those classes, I did it for free.
But you won't have the credential.
I know, but I'm telling you, I just did it all. This guy wants to take the $1,500, I did it for free.
You have to convince me. Just saying that people are willing to pay for the credentials, right? I mean, you're paying for the credentials, then,
Right.
And with the credentials, you also get virtual proctoring, for example. You get hand grading instead of peer grading. Universities are unwilling to give credit for peer grading. And so we've integrated hand grading for the people who pay.
So assessment.
So there's a number of things that, it's the same content, but the peer grading, universities are uncomfortable giving credit
Yeah.
for peer grading. And so on the B2B side of things, we're looking at a number of models. One is,
Before, can I interrupt you rudely here and say,
Please.
we're now going to pivot to B2B. When I first started thinking about this, using this language, I assumed that the other B was other universities. That is, that we would do deals with other universities and our content would get dropped into their degrees in some way or another. Now we think the other B actually is the private sector, or at least more the private sector. Am I right about that, that when we say B2B and online, we're thinking providers to companies rather than one university to another university? Rick, you're shaking your head.
Well, we don't call it enterprise, an enterprise business. We launched Coursera for
And I'm
business.
sure you've copyrighted that one too.
Coursera for business.
It's a great word you invented, enterprise there, I love it.
The answer is governments, government agencies, we've with governments, Malaysia, Singapore, and working with a couple state governments to use our courses in the workforce development program. And yes, a year ago, we were contemplating where do we go next? Licensing to universities or B2B, and we actually, after some back and forth, decided to go with the business model. But I mean, it's inevitable that both will be important parts of the landscape.
So, when you were talking B2B, were you thinking that way, sort of online executive education, or were you thinking that the partners are now, you have an institutional partner, which is the University of Botswana, and they want a chunk of content? When you say it, what does it mean to you?
so I believe in the past 4 years, we have a lot of experimentation in B2C space. I think the next 2 years belongs to B2B experimentation, at least at edX. And the second B for us, we're doing a number of experiments. One experiment is, like you said, for all the high school courses, many of our partners like Davidson, we're licensing them to high schools. There's about 30 high schools using AP content across high schools. And so we built, it's called SPOC, Small Private Online Courses, experimenting with
That person was clearly a Star Trek junkie.
Yes.
The person who gave us SPOC was Armando Fox, a professor at Berkeley. I'll never forgive him for that. It was only slightly worse than a MOOC. So that is one model, license to other universities to use it. The second is corporates, and corporates want to bulk enroll the people, and so we've had bulk enrollments in the hundreds and thousands from Boeing, Microsoft, MetLife, Goldman Sachs. The list goes on and on. The bulk enrolled employees in our courses, particularly in IT, business, and so on. And why do they want to do that when you can get the course for free? They want to do that, one, because they want their employees to single sign up. They want their leaders. Second, they want data. They will pay for the data, even though the course is available for free. And the certificate is important as well. The employees will complete the course because they're going to get a marketable credential that they can post on LinkedIn or on the CV. So that's the second B. The third B is also very interesting in other partnerships. So as part of our MicroMasters, we'll be announcing a worldwide partnership with Pearson. So Pearson has these learning centers all over the world. So Pearson will be offering edX MicroMasters throughout all the learning centers around the world. And so where they will hire tutors in a blended model. So think of it as managed scale blended learning. So edX MicroMasters to Pearson learning centers across the world. That's another kind of B. So we've experimented all of these B's, so to speak.
By the way, I think there are some journalists in the room. Are you officially breaking the scoop for tomorrow?
What is
the
this?
scoop? For those who are sorry, Mike, this is the scoop. Okay, you broke it.
And maybe it's the
Yeah,
other.
that's right. Yeah. Okay, so that's fantastic. And with you now. So business schools, we have to think about, boy, we've got this thing called a degree, and then we have this thing called executive education. Will the fact that you've done now an IMBA make you a better go-forward exec ed player because you'll be able to do online better? How do you think about
I think
that?
so. We've had a number of companies that have reached out to us to see if we could do some things where we build upon the digital library that we have and then do a little bit of customization along with it. Sometimes they might be interested in seeing if they could send a cohort of their employees through a concentration, a specialization or through a class together with a little bit of that live interaction to supplement it. So we do think that's an avenue going forward. And in fact, we're increasingly thinking of just kind of skipping by the traditional executive ed model, which Illinois was never a major player in, and sort of going this route. I would say similarly with our international footprint, I think we've decided that unlike that we're probably not going to follow the path of opening a University of Illinois branch in Shanghai or in Mumbai or what have you, but rather use the online content as our entry point, and again, just skip a sort of a generation of technology. So we think, and frankly, we've also had institutions in some other countries that have approached us. Now, the interesting thing is sometimes we tell them, look, given what you want, you've already got access to our material, and if that's really all you want, you don't really even need our permission, but if you would like to work with us in richer ways, we're happy to do that. So again, I think there's multiple versions.
Okay, Rick, last word, and then we'll open it up to everyone.
I just want to take on the B2B thing a little more directly for this audience, which is, first, it's a natural that these online courses would be desired by enterprises, by companies. We looked at our data with 30,000 enrollments from Cisco employees taking the courses from their Cisco email addresses, similar numbers from Amazon, IBM.
And that's amazing too, because what headquarters is maybe 5 miles from your building.
Exactly. Yeah. Business education. So one, the demand's there. People want deeper, more substantive training than they're able to provide in their in-house corporate learning departments. The second thing is this going to eat your lunch? Because I know that's what every business school, even an associate dean, is worried about. You make a lot of money at high value, high touch, personalized, customized executive education. We're a complementary product, not a competitive product. We're a complementary product. We can go in with you, and you can go in with our courses and save your corporate relationships. We can do more now than educate the top 4 layers of the organization at a very high per capita cost. We can give you a package. We'll do the high-end executive, high touch, our faculty, personal, face-to-face, customized to your concerns. And then for the 40,000 other people in your organization, we can give them high-quality, low-touch, but really high-quality training. And it's working great with Wharton. Wharton has got it. They understand that this is that we can play both parts of this market, and I think it's a real opportunity.
Disagree slightly?
You can have the last word. More apple juice for
I think that's a very conciliatory panel. I think we need to
Did you flag some controversy out there?
I do think MOOCs and whether it's specializations or micromasters are fairly complementary. But I'll tell you some stories. A lot of partners, a lot of universities are worried about executive programs. I spoke to an executive dean from a university that started in English, and that person told me that traditionally, for a certain executive program, there would get 50 to 60 people paying $3,000 to $5,000 a pop and come there for a week. And what 50 a year, 50 for that 1 week program. The last 2 or 3 years, they got few would come to that. And he blames the fact that you can get similar, very high quality online programs through the MOOC providers. So why should I have a family of 3, living in a foreign country, spend 2, 3, 4, 5, $10,000 to travel, pay for a hotel. Before I know it, I'm sneezing $10,000 and spend 5 days. How much is that extra worth? For some people, it's worth it, but for a lot of people, the online might be good enough. And so I think there will be competition, and I think if we stick our heads in the sand saying that it's completely complementary, I think we might be here.
So I can mediate here. Of course, it's largely complementary, but of course there'll be how big a competitive space is really matters. Let's go maybe 7:35 in 15 minutes. I hope we put some stuff on the table that people are interested in, or if we haven't, ask the distinguished panel, and you can tell that they'll give you straight answers. So we'd like to go first with the questions to the group. For an observation, of course, this is a pretty, as I said, a lot of expertise in the room. Or it could just start. No, we're not going to start. Yeah. 2 questions.